Welcome to Physics 1101. My name is Paul Francis and I'm the convener and lecturer for this course, and I'd like to welcome you to this online course. Now normally this course is a mix of online and face-to-face. In fact, normally we teach it workshops in this room here. However, we've decided that just for this semester we will teach it purely online. This is partially because some of our students physically can't get to Canberra, they're stuck in other states or interstate, partially because we're worried that at some point the outbreaks currently going on in Victoria and New South Wales will go wild and we might have to shut down, better to be prepared, and partially because even if we were teaching it in person, we all have to be socially distanced, and that actually is not a lot of fun for most activities. You can probably chat with the other students better doing things online. The main place we're going online hurts this course is the labs. The labs teach three skills: uncertainties, data analysis and electronics. And we can't really do the electronics, or most of it, online, so we've pushed all the electronics labs into Physics 1201 where they will be done in person, but the programming and the uncertainties we can and will be doing online in this course. Let me show you how this will actually all work.
Now the first place you should go in this course is the course Wattle page, though I guess if you're watching this video you've already discovered this. Now, at the top of the course Wattle page is the course administration block, which will have any news about how things are going in the course, and instructions. And in particular it'll tell you how to install Microsoft Teams, and it'll give you a place where you can sign up for one of the lab classes. And then if you scroll down you will see there is one block of the course for every week. So for week 1, the first thing in every block are the lessons. These replace lectures in a traditional course. So each lesson is a bunch of short videos interspersed with questions to test what you've learnt. And it gives you an estimate of how long you should take to get through these things. Typically there'll be about 2 to 3 hours worth of study here to do each week, to replace the 3 hours of lectures you would normally have. Once you've done this, you will then have access to the pre-reading quiz. The pre-reading quiz tests you on what you've learned through here. Now you can't see the pre-reading quiz till you've done these, but once you've done these you can go and have a look at the questions and then go back and refer to these things, so you can work through them slowly. The pre-reading quiz basically is a way to check that you've really understood what's going on in here, and make sure that you do the reading, watching the videos, all the way as the course goes, rather than leaving everything to the last minute. Not that a student in Australia would ever do anything like that. In all these lessons you have a choice. You can watch the videos or read the text underneath them, whichever you prefer. A lot of people like to watch the videos first time through and then go back and look at the text later on. And these will stay available all the way through the course, including up to the final exam. So the pre-reading quiz, that will prepare you for the workshops and the lab for that week. So the lessons and pre-reading quiz in week 1 you need to do before Tuesday in week 2, before 10 PM Tuesday, because they prepare you for the workshop and the lab in the second week. Likewise, the week 2 lessons and pre-reading quiz prepare you for the lab and workshop in week 3, and so on. And then finally you'll get to the actual workshop, and we will always post the workshop exercise here. You don't need to look at it ahead of time, you can just look at it during the workshop. And also, we don't have a lab in week 2, but when we get to lab weeks 3, 4, 5 and so on, there will also be full information on the lab exercise. And after the workshop is finished, you'll be able to do a quiz which will take you step by step through the answer to the workshop questions. But you won't be able to see this until after the workshop is finished. And similarly, in later weeks, there will be a lab quiz that will take you through what you've learnt in the labs. There's also extension submission. Now there's an option in this course to count it for either Honours Pathway or ASE for those of you who are in the PhD or the Advanced Bachelor of Science degree. There's a sign-up place for them further up, and if you want to do either of those, then here's where you upload your answer to the question. Anybody else can do this as well and will get marked, and if you do enough of these then we'll get an Honours Pathway option added to your transcript, but it won't actually count towards your degree for people who aren't in those special degrees. And finally there are some other resources each week. Now we will be using Microsoft Teams for our communication in this class. Now you can install it following the instructions on Wattle on your computer. There are also apps for smartphones and iPads and whatever, all of which work perfectly fine. I'm going to demonstrate what it looks like on a computer. It may look slightly different on an app. I will add you automatically to a team called PHYS1101. But if you've enrolled late, you might not be in it, in which case you can add yourself to the team by hitting the join or create team and typing in the code that's on the Wattle site. But I will try and add everyone who's enrolled as of the time when I set this up. So you can then go to the team, and this is a place where we will be holding the video meetings for our workshops and labs. And it's also generally a place where you can ask questions and contact either the tutors, me, or other students. Now if you have a question about something in the course, you can just type something in here. If you want to make sure I'm aware of it, or one of the tutors say, you can tag a person. So for example, if I wanted to tag tutor Huma, you see if I start typing at and her name, it comes up here, and then I can say now this general tab is a good place for asking questions that other people might be interested in. So if there is something in the videos you don't understand, or you're stuck on one of the homework questions, or you're not sure how things are assessed, odds are there's a lot of other people in the class who are thinking the same thing. So put a post in here and then everybody can read it. However, you might want to contact another student or the staff directly, in which case you can start a chat up here. So once again you type, let's say I'm going to talk to Josie, and then I can start typing messages, and like a chat app of any sort that you're probably all far more familiar with than I am. You might also want to have a voice call or a video call with someone, with one of us, in which case you can click on the call here. Once again search for the name and then start a video call. However, before trying a voice call or a video call to the tutors or to me, I would suggest send us a chat message first, just to make sure we're free and not teaching another class or in another meeting or something else like that. Anyway, to go back into Teams, at the start of every workshop or every lab, if you go to the General channel here, I will start a meeting. Here's what it's going to look like. So what you will see is a big blue bar in the General tab with the title of the meeting and who's currently in here, in this case me as I've started it, and you would click join to join the meeting, and that's what we'll do at the start of every workshop and every lab. You should join one of these meetings. As you join, you're given the option to mute your sound and turn the camera on and off. Normally, when you're in the big whole of class meeting, you will want to definitely mute things and probably have your camera off as well. That's up to you. When you're in small group meetings, you'll want your camera on if at all possible, though we understand that some people in this class don't have good internet and so might need to keep the video off to keep their bandwidth going fine. Now you can see a list of who's in the meeting here. You can raise your hand if you want to get some help with anything or ask a question. Also useful in here is the whiteboard. You can click on this and have a collaborative whiteboard that you and everybody else in the class can write on at the same time using the mouse or a tablet pen or something like that. So that's going to be useful when you work together on various things. You can send messages and you can tag people. So you could tag Huma again, and these messages can be seen from outside the video chat. So this is a way, if you're in a group discussion, you can tag us and say, help, can you help us please? Or it's a way to send messages if you don't want to actually turn your camera on and speak it out loud. So a lot of people prefer this as a way to communicate. When you're finished, so I will use this channel to introduce the whole class. When I'm done, I'll say, please hang up. So you should go to this red button here and hang up. And once everyone has left the meeting, it'll stay here as long as anybody's in here, but once everyone's finished, the blue bar will disappear. Now what will happen at the start of most labs and workshops is I will set up a meeting which you should all join in this general channel, and I might talk for a few minutes to answer questions and introduce what we're going to do in that particular lab or the workshop. Once that's finished, I will send you off to one of these separate channels. So for the workshops, it'll either be workshop group A or B, depending who your tutor is. And I'll post a list on Wattle and here telling you who your tutor is. So you should go to that channel. Likewise for the labs, depending whether you're in the 9 AM or the 2 PM lab session, you should click on one or other of these, and the particular lab demonstrator that's looking after that session will go in there. So you go on that channel, and what will happen is that, so you start off in the general channel. Once I finish talking to you, I will shut down that meeting, and you need to hang up from it and go to the relevant channel. And your tutor or demonstrator will start a meeting there. So you should see a big blue bar as before, and you should join that. And your tutor or demonstrator will introduce themselves, give any special help for that particular workshop and lab. They will then ask you to divide yourselves up into groups, or we will assign you to groups, and you'll be working in groups of 3, 4, 5, 6 people as you work through that particular lab or workshop. And these groups, to begin with, we will assign you to these groups, but later on you can pick your own groups if there are particular people you want to work with. And what we will do is when you're in the group with the tutor, they will say, okay, so you, say Fred, George, Nissan and Jin will be in a group, and they will pick one of you to start the group. So if you're the person tasked with starting that meeting, you will need to go up here and click Meet, pick a suitable title, like My Cool Group, and start it up. And once it's going, all the other members of your group should join it, and then you can work together in that group to solve the problems in that lab or that workshop. Now, hopefully you can all do that, at least for the first few labs and workshops. Some of you may prefer not to work on the video. It depends a bit about what the particular topic for that workshop or lab is. Sometimes you might want to just go away and work by yourself and post messages in that particular workshop group, maybe flagging Huma or Josie or me to get help, if you prefer to do it by text or if you don't have enough bandwidth on your internet to do it. And then the tutors may set up another meeting every now and then to check on how everyone's going. Or if you'd rather not have the rest of the class see what you're doing, you can just message us directly to get help with anything.
Hopefully that all made sense. It's great to have you in our course. If you have any questions about any aspect of the course, either email me, the email address is on Wattle, or send me a message via Teams. And I hope to see you in the workshops and labs.